So really, Q2 is the time to shine. And that was Monday. And then Tuesday, what was Tuesday? Sales meeting day. Kind of boring. I go through the stats. We got a lot of attendance though. But the second half of the meeting was something really cool. That is a special privilege for our Beggins agents, not especially since we partnered with them, a company called Knock. And Kathleen,
This was our quarter 2 goals.
yeah, it certainly does. But the question is, how many agents went and signed up? Can I get a show of hands, maybe? Not very many people online. You did, Susan. Great. Because if not, the way this world works, if you don't take action on it when it's time, new action will take. You got certified. It was simple, Jamie. Thank you. Yep. So I thought Kat would show it because I know she did it. I didn't do it. And honestly, I almost forgot about it. That's why when she sent me the email last night, I said, oh, shit. 5 people out of 32 raised their hand. We'll get some chats. Simple.
On the training yesterday when I was doing it, and I think there was about 15 Beggins agents on there as well. There was a total of 355 people getting certified from around the country.
That's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm. It's hitting multiple markets. It's hitting, I believe it's Florida, California, Nevada, New Jersey, Texas, and we think there's one other, I think it's also hitting
Probably Phoenix.
New York, Phoenix, yes. So it's branching. Neil's getting his done at 11 o'clock this morning. It's a great program.
Well, I just wanted you guys to remember that that was a great program. And if we don't take action on it, we're going to forget. And then next week, some new actions are going to come along and we're going to forget. And the idea is, for me, it's awareness, gives you flexibility, which gives you options, which gives you power. So you might come across a customer who's afraid of selling their home right now because they don't know where they're going to go. And then you pop out of the wall and say, ta-da, I'm here for you.
That's right. And a big shout out to Shelly Panas because she originally brought my attention to it and we started talking about it. Next thing I know, we are on board getting this done.
Mr. Puma doesn't let any grass grow under his feet.
Mm-mm.
2 more hand raisers. Mom did it. Good. Good. Okay. So that was Tuesday. So far, a pretty busy week. And then we had Wednesday. Chris Reed was on. What did they say? I'm actually in that boat right now. Oh, which boat? That you do it this week, the next week something else is going to come along, and then next week something else is going to come along. So Chris got our mindset going, and he was talking about stretching. Right? Just as you think you can only go this far around, with your mind repositioned, you can actually go further than you ever thought you could. So it was kind of a big think kind of day, which is a good message to get. And then yesterday, Ashley and I talked about what we learned from the Cardis conference for 2 days. And Cardis is really an amazing company. There's lots of business there. Yep. Yeah, so somebody said they want a specific community. There's nothing available. Well, they might as well get qualified with Knock then. So when it is available, they can go in with their full price offer and get it. And then their house will sell in a heartbeat, most likely. Very cool. And then today, Kathleen, we're going to let you take the ball and just walk us through the Knock program again quickly and how to register.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
Tell us what to expect from the process.
And can you see the screen? Because I pulled it up from the actual Knock site.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this makes it really convenient. If you go to knockzendesk.com, once you're registered, there's all kinds of wonderful materials that you can use there. But real quick, just to go through it, it'll give you a checklist of who's the best customer and how to qualify that customer. And there's going to be an app on your phone. It's very easy to download. You can either get it from the Google or the Apple store, depending on the type of phone that you have. And right off the bat, you have a qualifying checklist. And before we even get to that, we need to see what type of customer is it that's really good for Knock. And basically, it's going to be somebody that really wants to get into a home before they list their home. Knock makes it really easy. And as you can see here, these are all the different states. I omitted a couple here. There's actually more than I realized. Arizona, Georgia, Colorado, Texas, Florida. Sorry, the yard guy's making a lot of noise out there. Equity. This is the important part. You have to have at least 30% equity into the home that you are going to list. That would be factoring all liens, mortgages, and so forth. And credit score, 620. That's pretty good because that's not a high credit score, as most people know. That's a tough credit score. So pretty good starting point there. If you qualify for conventional FHA, doesn't work right now. VA doesn't work right now. They're working towards jumbo loans because they have a cap right now. I believe their cap is $850, and that would be for the listing side as well as the purchase side, is our understanding. Let me double check my notes on that because that question came up a couple times yesterday.
Hey, Kathleen.
Yes.
Let's hold on a second. I want to talk about this 30% equity or more.
Right.
And why that's important. Because NOC will lend you 20% of
Correct.
your equity to go qualify to buy a new home. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, when they lend you the 30% or 20% of your house, what are they likely taking back?
They're going to be doing a couple things. Number one, they're going to allow you to stay in the mortgage payments for 6 months without any interest up to 6 months. So that's going to be helpful. And then they're going to turn around and allow you to have that money, let's say up to $25,000, I think it is, to do work on the old house if need be, and so forth. If you don't need it, you put it back in. It makes the whole process seamless because you get into the new house, you have time to work on the old one, get it on the market, you got that 6 month window, and in this market it's going really fast, so it's more than likely going to be 1 month with single family homes, unlike condos that are a little bit longer. By the way,
what I'm trying to get at is they're likely taking back a second mortgage.
Correct. This is
so they're protecting themselves. So they're going to have at least 10% equity. They gave you 20%. If you default or don't do anything, they're going to take your house.
Correct.
Right? They're going to sell it, and they're going to have at least 10% equity in it, have enough money to pay off your mortgage. So they're not stupid. This is not for the dummy. Just take advantage of NOC. They're going to take advantage of you if you try to screw them.
Well, that's very true. And the other thing is they really don't want to be in the business of buying homes. That's only if you've got an issue where this property just won't sell. If they do buy it back, it's going to be at 85% valuation. So math-wise, that means you're going to take a big bite. So we want to make sure that when we're dealing with these customers up front, that we're going to be realistically pricing out what that home could potentially sell for, the comps that are very comparable, and make sure. Let me see. High pitch hum from my mic. Okay, that's probably the yard guy outside of the office.
No, it's your microphone.
Okay. Maybe that's a little bit better. I hope. Any rate, and you'll see that property condition of the house maintained, no major work needed, that sort of thing. NOC's maximum list price $850,000 below. That there's similar comps, 2 to 3 of them minimum, and they will be doing houses, townhouses, condos, but we're not doing vacant land, mobile homes, modular homes. We're not doing that right now. So that is the first part. Then, once you get into the class, you get to see this handy dandy little checklist. Now, when you go through the course, they'll go through this with you. It's about 45-50 minutes plus question and answer period. So it might take you a total of 50 minutes, and it's pretty straightforward. They're very good about going through each platform. This qualified listing and conforming equity checklist is very good because this will help you see how to help your buyer or your seller get qualified, because you're going to be the seller on one side and buyer on the other, which is why I was saying that. You get to do all this online through your app, and you just check this off. Makes this easy peasy. And after this morning,
let's talk about that too, because there's nothing easy peasy about applying for a loan. You've got to pull all the crap together, and it sucks. And just tell people the truth.
Yes, but it's streamlined. They're pretty fast. They'll get you.
No, the online applications have gotten much better. The hard part is finding your tax returns from 2 years ago and finding your W-9 or your W-2 or your pay stubs and all that stuff if you're not organized, because I wasn't. It took me a long time to get all that crap together.
Yeah, reach out to your CPA. They'll have it probably on a PDF file for you. If you're using a CPA, I hope most people are. It makes it really easy. Put it on a thumb drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's just me. One of those type A's. I want everything organized on thumb drives for the last 50 years. So there you have it. So yes, there is a process, but as you go through the checklist, you're checking it off, and you just work your way down the loan. When you get ready and you have the new home purchase approved, and according to what we were learning yesterday, they can give you an answer in 24 to 48 hours. So they're pretty fast, and they're good about getting the loan fully underwriting 5 to 7 days max. And
Wow.
if you need it faster, they'll work with you. You just got to reach out to them and talk to them. That's full underwriting. And then you can go right into the steps of inspection, appraisal, all that good stuff. You can use whatever title company for closing if you want to. Their title company of preference is First American Title. But again, if you want to use a different title company, that's fine. The title company has to be familiar with the various steps in the process of the NOC program. So it's important for whatever title company is going to participate for them to be engaged and learn about the various steps. Make sure they have time that they can work with NOC. Shouldn't be that hard, but they just need to be familiar with it. Let's see. After we have our checklist, and again, we're going to have this after the meeting. I don't want to take up too much time because we have this available to send out to everybody.
Well, they got to take the class. Every agent has to.
Oh, you have to. You have to. This is once you take the class, which is just so easy. You're going to really enjoy this. This is going to be your quick start guide, how to get your clients started, the pre-approval phase, finding and purchasing the dream home, and as it says here, we'll cover up to 20% on the new house and 6 months of payments on the old house, so you're only paying one mortgage at a time. That makes it a little bit different than the traditional bridge loans. And the fees on the bridge loan, on this particular, because this is really a bridge loan plus, if you will, 1.25%. There's no other hidden fees. NOC Swap Essentials, you can put this on your iPhone, your Android, and so forth. This is your contact information. Key things, sending the title information of the contract, service areas, and so forth. This is very much like I was saying a moment ago, similar to lender origination fees, which they do not charge. Home prep. There is a home prep concierge service, or if your seller has, repair people that they're familiar with that they want to use, you can do that too. But it's nice to know if you've got an out-of-state buyer that needs help and they don't have the tools that they need to help get some repairs done, there is a concierge service. And this, of course, is just a conversation you can have with people when you run into people from time to time. That's what the NOC Home Swatch. Sorry,
Did you learn anything like was alarming that you were concerned about? Because they're going to take the class, but
yeah. No, actually I didn't. I was expecting there'd be more fees. I was expecting there'd be more hidden timelines, and I was expecting to be slower as far as their response time, but it seems to me they have this pretty fine-tuned. So no, I think it's going to be a fairly simple process, and they don't have any strange extra paperwork, maybe 1 or 2 sheets that you fill out, like a cover page, kind of like our deal sheet, if you will. But no, it's very simple. Very, very simple. It's very straightforward, and I think it's going to be a really good program for people that are trying to get into a house and need to sell the old one, but they don't want contingencies. And that's the other thing that's great about the program. You're going to present through NOC your offer with no sale of your home contingencies. And as everybody knows, that's huge in this market because no seller's going to take any contingencies right now. They're going to want to just get as much for their dollar as they can. It's a seller's market.
Yep. And it's difficult out there.
Very.
Okay, well, this is Master the Contract Friday, so I have some case studies I want to go through, but I want to remind everybody that, weeks go by and things change, and if we don't take action, we're going to forget. So put this on your checklist to go get done, because I'm sure most of you intended to do it on Tuesday, and then Wednesday came, and then Thursday came, then it fell off the list of to do things, and then it's gone, and then next week there'll be something else. So just a friendly reminder to please get involved with the NOC program, because if you have the awareness, you'll be in good shape. All right. Just a little fun thing. These things bother me, and I want to send an open thank you again to Jan Stern, who protects my image and corrects all my writing. Kathleen shared an article with me that I thought was funny, and I thought we'd just talk about it because I see these things all the time, and I'm not passing judgment because I do it myself a lot. But it makes me second guess the intelligence of the person who wrote me when they have all these things wrong. So it second guesses my intelligence when I make these same mistakes. So this is just a fun little 5-minute little ditty here, but it's called, I just don't know how to use Gmail very well. 11 most common grammatical mistakes employees can make. Everyday versus everyday. Come on, admit it. Sometimes you don't know which one. I versus me. I know somebody who does that a lot. It's versus it is. It's lie versus lie, lay. Lose versus loose. Apostrophes. That versus who. Then versus than. There versus there versus there. Less versus fewer. Your versus your. Do you all recognize? Maybe you're just way better than I am, but I screw this up all the time. So here's just a couple examples. Apostrophes. We need to get our sales numbers up. Sales apostrophe S or sales no apostrophe? The correct one to tell us the answer. Wrong. He starts work every day at 8 a.m. He starts work every day at 8 a.m. Every day or every day? Every day. Every day. Huh. I or me. The marketing manager told Riley and I to talk with her. The marketing manager told Riley and me to talk with her. I didn't know that was correct. I screw this one up all the time. It's versus its. The company just celebrated its 8th year. No, it's its 8th year. Aunt Jan corrects me on that all the time. Less or fewer. Less than 50 people showed up for the presentation. Fewer than 50 people showed up. Who cares on that one? I could just lay down and go to sleep. I could just lie down and go to sleep. I would have thought the wrong one was right. There's somebody said something to say here. Me, fewer, lie. All right. Lose or loose. If we stay on this track, we can't loose or we can't lose. I do that wrong too. Plus, I can't type. So the people that reach their sales target will get rewarded. The people who reach their sales target will get rewarded. People are whose, not that's. Lauren's taking the test with us. Number 9, then or than. That presentation was better than the first one. Than the first one. Than. 10. They're going after their office over there. They're going to their office over there. They're going to their office over there. Wow, that's a good one. You're my favorite supervisor. You are my favorite supervisor. There you go. I just thought that was fun because I know I do it all the time, and now I've got a guide to go by. So if you want, I'll send that out to you. It's kind of fun. Okay. I'm going to go through just a couple things in my little bag of tricks here. Does listing to leasing work for foreigners? Okay, what is listing to leasing? Ding, 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 ding. Kathleen, do you know?
Yeah, that's a great portal, listing to leasing. When you're doing a listing that's a lease listing, that's a portal that you use, and the tenants can go on there, potential tenants, log in and so forth. So as long as you've got verifiable income and you're a verifiable person, yeah, you should be able to go on there.
Okay, now, listing for leasing does background credit checks, criminal checks, and all that stuff.
Correct.
And it's all in a private, confidential portal where the tenant goes in, submits their information, and it only goes to the landlord so they can make their evaluation. And there's all the privacy concerns that are surrounding credit reports and criminal activity. There's a lot of privacy rules around it. Listing to leasing gets around all those and keeps it clean. Mm-hmm. And it gives the seller informative, accurate information. And it's like, I don't think it costs very much at all, a $50 application fee. So I want to bring that up. That is a program that this company has access to, and it really is helpful than rather than just pulling a credit check. We don't do a lot of property management.
Yeah.
It's very fast. but we do have to advise our sellers. We have to help our sellers analyze their tenants, and they're going to really appreciate you having a criminal background checked and a credit report pulled for them, because nobody knows how to get that done. Yeah, that's not the question. Does listing to leasing work for foreigners? I have a guy from Ireland wanting to lease my client's condo. His name is Chris. Maybe you've met him. I just don't want him to pay a $50 application fee if it's not going to tell us anything. He doesn't have an American credit score. Okay, it's also a criminal background check, but it is going to be US based. So I don't have the answer to that question. But I wanted to bring up the question because it's a problem. If you've got a foreigner who doesn't have credit, it's just tougher for them. Now, this guy, I think, is in a position to pay the whole 6 months in advance, which would solve him that problem. Where did I put this here? I'm gonna skip that for now. Okay, some of this is just me talking. Issues. Lauren got 100. Okay, I wrote down, I wanted to have a conversation with you, Kathleen, about appraisals. Because there's a lot of places we can make mistakes. The buyer is going to get financing. The buyer is going to have a loan approval period. Appraisals are taking a long time. So what does that mean? We got to be strategic about our appraisals. Prices are going so high that appraisers can't keep up at time. That looks self-correct, but there really is a lot of issues around appraisals. So I wrote down, appraisal has to be done before the loan approval period, right? Because once the buyer, and this is, I want you all to understand this, once the buyer waives the loan approval period, and how do they do that? They either send a note to the seller saying, I have loan approval, I'm waiving my financing contingency, or they lay in the grass and don't say anything and don't cancel, then they're deemed to have waived their finance contingency, right? So if you don't have that appraisal in before the loan approval period is up, then what? You better cancel and get your buyer's deposit back, or make an addendum to extend the loan approval period.
That's right.
So that's a responsibility that you guys need to pay attention to, because the appraisal problems, I mean, I'm having these problems in Mirror Bay. The appraisers are busy. They can't just come out with the drop of a hat. They got all this shit going on. And then, you know, in the new construction world, you need to have, you know, your CO in place and all that stuff before you can get your appraisals done. Or not necessarily.
And your VA and FHA guys are even longer because there's not as many VA appraisers out there right now. So that's delaying the process a bit. And then you have appraisers that are not paying attention to the market at all, and numbers are not coming in.
Yep. So get the appraisal in before the loan approval period, and if you don't have it, cancel before the loan approval period is up, or get an extension of the loan approval period. All right. And then what happens when the appraisal comes back and it didn't appraise? Then you submit for an appraisal review. All the meanwhile, your loan approval period's still coming close to the end, at which time your buyer's got to either cancel or accept. And I just want you to be thinking about that. There's a lot of responsibility.
And even if you do fight that appraisal, there's no guarantee you're going to win it if it comes in low.
Yep. Okay, and then I wrote down some things I wanted to play with. Additional terms. We have a lot of clauses we automatically built into the additional terms in .loop, which is nice. But oftentimes we're writing our own, right? So I want to give you at least 2 points on when you're writing your own addendum on what you want to say. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Typically, it's going to start with something like buyer and seller agree, right? That. And then, so buyer and seller agree that the loan approval period shall be extended to no later than March 31st, all right? the two parties agree that something very clear must happen by a date. So who, by who, and by when. They're supposed to drill that right in here. By who, by when. By who, by when. This contract is subject to buyer. Okay, so let's say, and this is what the deal was, get the offer. So who's that? We teach a very professional way to run a real estate brokerage business, right? We teach, I'm helping my mom with the listing right now, and the seller's a very nice person. But she's arguing with me. I said, I want a home inspection on your house before it goes on the market. Well, that's ridiculous. The buyers are going to get money. That's a waste of money. I don't think I need to spend that money. Trust me. You need to spend the money. So I twisted her arm. She sent the money. The inspection was done yesterday. Guess what? There's a lot of stuff going on in that house that I had no idea about. Right? And now she's got to make a big decision. I mean, it's almost like renovate and ask a lot of money or discount and sell it literally as is. But that came from that. Anyway, we start running a professional company by doing things like this. But a lot of your fellow agents aren't professional and don't make it as easy for you. So we have our sellers fill out the HOA rider. We have our sellers fill out the condo rider. We have our sellers fill out the seller's disclosure statement. We attach those to the MLS and make them available for our cooperating brokers to use. They have they submit a whole contract package. And I want you guys to know in a market like this, if they don't have everything, it's okay. We'll get it later, right? You need to get the offer in, right? So for us, it's easy. We make it easy for our cooperating brokers. Other cooperating brokers don't make it easy for us. So I wanted to tell you that in additional terms, it's okay to write. This contract is subject to seller providing the property disclosure to buyer no later than March 28th, right? So this way they can sign the contract and have an effective contract subject to and still not damage our buyer. We need the HOA addendum. We need this, we need that. You can put that in the additional terms, which at some day is going to make the listing agent look like a moron because they should have had all that stuff for you anyway. But I've heard agents say, well, I can't submit it because I don't have a full contract. You submit the contract, the offer, subject to buyer completing this, this, and this, and this by this date, by who, by when, subject to seller completing this form specifically by this date. Buyer and seller, by who, by when. Every clause you handwrite should have that definition or should meet those terms. By who.
You know, I was going to jump in for a second on the inspection that you had. By having that done ahead of time, they can get those repairs done, you know, material things, issues ahead of time. And actually, that's very marketable. So the next guy that comes along that's a buyer, everything's already been done, unless we're talking astronomical costs on things.
No, we're not. No, it's a 20-something-year-old house that has 20-year-old stuff in it. You know, it doesn't have. Jessica sent me a video this morning of a couple agents doing a rap song about the market. She posted it to Beggins Agents. And it's these two guys doing this rap song, and he's talking about the house is bad. They're rapsters, and it's got soft closed doors, and it's got granite countertops. It's got stainless steel appliances. This house doesn't have all that. It just doesn't have all that stuff because it's older. But in the $1 million plus range, buyers are going to expect that. So they're either going to discount so they can upgrade it themselves, or she's going to upgrade and they're going to pay more. And that's an age-old story. I don't know which one's the better one to do. She doesn't probably have the capacity to do it herself.
What's the view? Is it water?
Yeah, big water.
Discount it.
Yep, I think, yeah. Well, you know, probably $80,000 would make it worth $200,000 more. But somebody's got to do the work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, so that was my point. Get the offer in. Even if you got to write stuff in additional terms to collect later, get your offer in so it is known. I wanted to tell you all too the 3-hour CE class. So Titan Home Loans, Andy and Candace, that have been doing the training classes with us on a couple Fridays a month, or one Friday a month. Andy is a certified real estate instructor. So he's capable of doing CE classes. So every 2 years, you have to do your 14-hour continuing ed. Well, you could also do a 3-hour class, a 3-hour class, a 2-hour class, a 3-hour class, and then another 3-hour class and get your 14 hours done. So that's just one way you can do it. And they send out a flyer on that too. And my page had a lot more stuff on it than we just got through. How about a Q&A? Well, let's go through some issues we've been talking about. I'm gonna hammer this one to you too, because I'm prognosticating the future, and it's going to work for us too, because we're investigating things too. This concept of lead fatigue is real. I didn't have my call with Op City yesterday because the guy stood me up, but I can show you if you want me to show you. We will get 300 opportunities. We will click on about 90 of them, and we'll win about 40 of them. Right? So by us not clicking on them, we're not even in the right race. And if we click on them too late, we're losing them. So that was the old image. Speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. Now everything is changing to the lead source, like Cartus, vetting and delivering qualified leads. And then forget speed to lead, because they're going to be qualified. Agents are going to want them. Now it's, what did you do with them? So if you were given 20 vetted leads and you closed 10, that's a 50% closing ratio. That's going to put a crown around your head and make you like a king or a queen. And they're going to feed you more because you can handle it. If you only close 10 or 2 out of 20, that's going to be a 10% conversion ratio. They're going to consider that to be bad. So like Cartus for years has been doing this. Remember, we've always told you how stringent Cartus was and how we had to play by the rules and do all this stuff, right? They're even laxing their rules. They're not going to measure us on how fast we answer or how quick we turn in our paperwork. They're going to measure us on how fast, what percentage of deals we close, right? Because they're going to spend the money on the call centers doing the stuff to vet the agents to qualify the leads, which is the same thing we're doing. I've got interviews today with Mike Puma with virtual assistants from the Philippines. We're actually interviewing them on Zoom, and we're going to hear their voice and what they sound like. If they sound like Filipinos answering the phone, if they sound like Americans answering the phone, because they're going to be answering our Home Partners leads and our partnership with Home Partners. And then they're going to answer them. They're going to take them through a process that normally we would get a lead and we would give it to Kathleen, the agent. And Kathleen will run with it. And if it's really good, really fast, she'll make it happen. But if it has any hiccups along the way, it's going to be like the knock training on Tuesday. We're going to forget about it. And next week it's going to be cold and we're going to forget about it. And no discount to you because we get a lot of leads. But if we have the virtual assistant hunting them down, getting onto the Home Partners website, getting them approved by Home Partners, and then they've learned what we've taught them. And then when it comes to Kathleen, hey, Kathleen, here's Craig. He's already approved by Home Partners. He can afford up to $2,400 a month. Do you want him? Then the speed to lead comes in, because we're going to ping it to 5 agents, which we have the capacity to do. And then whoever answers it first says, yes, I want it. Right. So that's where we're going. So I want you to focus on lead conversion. I'll be talking about it a lot more. Okay. So,
and a lot of new home communities too. I mean, when we're trying to find inventory, instead of people getting frustrated, there's lots of different options that we can help our buyers with, and still grab that phone and get those buyers, get those leads. Don't let them get stale and get cold.
You know, I had a thought. I don't know if it's true or not true, but it was a thought. Excuse me. It might be time for us to investigate the outlying areas. What's really going on in Ellington? What's really going on in Lakeland? What's really going on in Parrish? Because those are not bad places and their prices are affordable and there's inventory there.
Right. So
you might have to be suggesting more suggestive. So, you know, it's really hard to get a place in South Tampa in the Plantation District, but for $800,000, you can get a mansion in Parrish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of quality builders building out there.
Yeah. Same thing out here, Northport, Venice, south of Sarasota. We're hitting those markets like crazy. What used to be Osprey is now being rezoned as Sarasota like crazy. Out to not Lakewood Ranch, Palmer Ranch. Sorry, I need another cup of coffee. Palmer Ranch, South Sarasota. It's exploding. There must be 15 different new home construction builders out there. D.R. Horton being one of them. And of course, they treat our agents the best. We love D.R. Horton because they pay us really well.
Lauren has a question. I have a question regarding an offer I received on my listing. I'll be speaking to the lender. It's an FHA offering $9,000 over list price and willing to eat up to $12,000 if it doesn't appraise. How is this possible if there's an FHA addendum? Doesn't it make that addendum moot? No. The FHA addendum says the seller cannot keep their deposit if the house does not appraise. The buyer can remedy that problem by putting additional cash down. So that's a good buyer further. That's a smart agent and loan officer collaborating together to give an FHA buyer a fighting chance. Now, the good news on the FHA side is the qualifications are easier, so they can have a higher debt to income ratio. The downside is the house has got to be in really good shape. If FHA inspectors come out and say the front door wants to be repainted and so there's the eaves and the soffit, then it has to be repainted because they're insuring the gap in that mortgage. Did we talk about that lately? I don't think we have. So a conventional mortgage is considered saleable on the secondary market because by definition, conventional, it has at least 20% down. So the market will buy it. The secondary market will buy it because it's got equity in it and it's a safer loan to buy and store and hold and service. So FHA mortgages are 3.5% down. That's not 20% down. So the secondary market doesn't want to buy them, which means FHA would have to fund all the loans forever. And they don't have enough money to do all that. So FHA insures the gap of the 16.5% between the 20 minus the 3.5. So since FHA has now an equitable interest, if you will, in the property because they're insuring it, they have a say, and the say is paint the front door and fix the eaves, right? Very similar with VA. VA guarantees the gap, right? So when we did a short sale for the lender, back 10 years ago, and the house sold for 30% less than the mortgage, well, VA had to kick in 20% because they insured it, or FHA. They guaranteed it. FHA had to kick in because they insured it. Right? So that's where your conventional stuff goes in. They wrote this in the additional terms as well. What's this?
The appraisal contingency, which would override the FHA addendum's language about the.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So in the additional terms I wrote, well, really what they should do is should have had an escalation clause that said we'll pay, or use a clause we have in .loop that says we'll pay up to $12,000 over appraisal.
Right.
Which is them saying, now, Lauren, to make that really meaningful, I would look for a strong deposit. Your earnest money deposit. Take your small $2,500 down, but now that they've got at least $9,000 over asking price, ask for an additional $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000. So it really hurts if they walk away, if they want it, right? Because putting that language in and only having $1,000 at risk takes away the teeth, right?
Yeah.
So everything, you got to balance it. It's not a bad buyer. Put your money where your mouth is. Give me a big deposit after your inspection period, and I'll make your offer work. But if you're going to keep no skin in the game, you'll just walk. And something else I was talking to an agent about yesterday, and just be cognizant of this. It's happening, guys. It's happening a lot. And you've done it probably. So this is the real life part, right? At first, this buyer wanted to do $500, then they upped it to $1,000. His current home is under contract and will have that cash upon closing. That's where we get involved and start telling stories. Hey, listing agent, how strong is that buyer's contract? This is our duty, guys. I'm gonna take my asset off the market for this guy. I gotta know. how strong is his offer, how much deposit is it, when does it close? And then I could write an additional terms in my contract. Upon the closing of buyer's current home, buyer shall place an additional $9,000 deposit. And that's just another thing. If he breaks it, we can cancel the contract and get it back on the market and fix it, right? So I want you one step ahead of everybody doing this stuff. It's closing in May. Yeah, so this is, his offer is getting weaker and weaker. Remember when Jeff and I talk about the perfect contract? All cash, no inspections, close tonight. Anything away from that diminishes the strength of the contract. So this guy is diminishing his power, not intentionally, but it's just the situation he's in. So your job is to weigh. Now this is where, and this is going to sound goofy, this is where if they shot a video and told the seller about their plans for the house, or sent a picture with a letter about what they're planning to do, those little emotional things make a difference.
They're huge. Man, I had one where the seller is a bird lover. No, it wasn't me. And the buyer is a bird lover, and they happen to have conversation about that in their, which we call love letters. They picked our offer over everybody else's, and ours wasn't as tight, or I should say as strong as the others, but because it resonated with that seller, and it's closing next week.
All right, so we talked about leads. We talked about lead diligence and lead conversion. So it kind of leads me to tell you, don't take leads unless you're going to work them, because you're going to rule yourself out of getting the good ones. And that's not me telling you, threatening you. That's me telling you, OpCity's whispering in my ear. Zillow's whispering in my ear. We're going to measure agents' conversions, and we're going to give them to those who convert. So the more you take and you don't convert, the less you're going to get, which is a total different paradigm shift. I'm glad it's happening, but it's happening. Lauren suggests, agreed. It's one of 5 offers so far. We'll be sitting down with the seller on Monday to make a decision using that dreaded spreadsheet. Oh, what a market. We'll be sitting with, it's one of 5 offers so far. We're going to sit with the seller on Monday to make a decision. All right, let's talk about this too. This is contract stuff, right? When does your offer expire? The time for acceptance date. Who selects the time for acceptance? The drafter. So if these agents, these 5 agents have offers on your listing so far, they thought they were being smart by giving you till today at 4 o'clock to respond. What happens at 4:01 today?
Death.
Your offer vanishes. It's obliterated. It disappears. It's no longer valid. So right now you have 5 offers. When are those offers going to expire? Because that's, you might not have 5 offers on Monday, right? So what you could do, right, is you counter buyer number 1 with a time for acceptance of Monday, right? That keeps that offer alive till Monday if they sign it. And if they don't sign it, it vaporizes on the date of the time for acceptance. Now, this is real estate, guys. This is not me making this shit up. This is by the book. This is what happens in contract law. So we say, and I'm picking on you, Lauren, anyway. As soon as I had multiples, I notified listings to put on MLS that seller to decide to make Monday to make other agents aware. That's fine, but the MLS is not part of the contract, right? It's good communication. I think the best communication is a telephone call or a Zoom meeting with the other agent, talking about strategy and saying, look, I'm sorry, I don't control it. I've got 15 offers on the table and we're going to need some time. Your time for acceptance is going to expire before we're going to be ready. Would you like to extend it? And that's just fair. And they'll say yes or no. If they say no, then good. That's one less contract for you to put on that dreaded spreadsheet, right? But this is real. So pay attention to time for acceptance. It's a real date. And the other thing I wanted to close on, because I got to go to the office in 15 minutes. What's happening in real life practice is buyers are putting multiple offers on multiple houses, right? I know it's happening because it's just, they're rapidly canceling with no explanation even before inspections are done. So they pick 3 houses they'll settle for any one of the 3. The agent writes up an offer on all three, right? And whichever one gets accepted, they just dump the other two real quick because they don't want to spend money on the inspections and they haven't even made their deposit yet. So consider that when you're talking with the listing agent about the qualifications of their buyer. Do they have offers on any other homes? That's a fair question. Joe, come on, Lauren. I made that spreadsheet to make it easier. Nothing's easy, Joe, when you got 15 offers to evaluate. Cool. Well, Kathleen, your team is doing fantastic over in Sarasota.
Thank you. They're working hard. They're doing everything we teach them to do.
Yep. Those of you, I thank you for doing what we teach you to do, because we have no benefit in teaching you what doesn't work, right? So this is real life experience, and the stumbles that land on our desks are the ones we're teaching you, so you don't have to live through it, because we all want to do the best job we can. Okay, that being said, it is Friday, the day before Saturday, and it's really, what is it, the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. So the end of the month. Oh, I can show you real quick. I bet we have 80 or 90 closings left to go between next Thursday, now and Thursday. I was talking to the title company. Think about it. No, I was talking to you, Kathleen. If we have, as a company, 50 closings on March 31st, how many title companies are we using? Well, how many closings can a typical title company do in a day?
Well, it takes at least an hour unless funding delays things. So an hour for each closing. What are you talking? And they're not going to work till 10 o'clock at night, although it has happened. Mm-hmm. So maybe 6 a day, 7 a day, depending.
6 or 7 would be a very busy day.
Yeah.
I know we've done 10 or 12,
right,
calling in forces from other places, but it's just crazy. And then, we talk about little screw ups that happen with paid at closings and things. And there's also a line of communication that needs to be had between you and your title agent. When you extend or move up or whatever, you got to know. So I'm really happy to announce that Misty's doing a great job at Paramount Title, and the new girl, Tiffany, that's an additional staff member now just to handle overflow, because she can close, she can do everything. So the staff is beefing up because we're busy.
And please, please, please do your paid at closings, and think about taking an extra moment to email title a copy of it. Even though they're in our loops, they're very, very busy. Make that extra step. It'll probably save you some big headaches in the long run.
I was talking to Sean. She has an idea of doing a class and asked me my opinion of it, and I gave her my opinion. I think it's a great idea. She actually wants to go through the closing process with the agents so they understand the steps, rather than posting blame saying, well, the title company didn't get the HUD statement till the last minute. Well, no, the lender didn't give the title company the figures until the last minute.
Yeah.
Or title company gets blamed. And I'm not saying because we own the title company, I'm telling you because it's the truth. It's the lender who gives the title company the numbers late. And it's the lender, it's the title company who gives you the HUD late, but it's not their fault because the lender didn't perform. Because the lender is in California, 3 hours behind us. It's a big rush for them when it's 6 o'clock on Friday night. It's only 3 o'clock on Friday there.
Right.
And that's just, the awareness again.
Right.
Options and power. So.
And have conversations with the buyer's agent. Has your buyer made sure that the survey's been ordered? Are we really everything all tidied up? Let's not hit the title company the last minute with ordering surveys, and because there's going to be a lot of fiascos with that. It could be the wrong.
Well, let's talk real quick.
Go ahead.
To your point, Kathleen. What industries are affected by us being super busy?
All the others that are in the same.
Loan officers are even busier than we are because we're going to hit with refis also.
Yep.
The rising rates are going to help the refis slow down, but the new purchases, they're as busy as we are.
They are.
Somebody sent me a note yesterday that there's more real estate agents in the nation now than there are houses for sale.
Yeah.
How about that? More real estate agents than houses.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So mortgage companies are affected, so they're busy. Mm-hmm. Title companies are affected, they're busy. Mm-hmm. Surveyors are busy. Appraisers are busy. Home builders are busy. Dishwasher salesmen are busy. I mean, really, we affect so many nodes of the economy It's crazy. And the stress is rampant.
Yeah.
I wrote that my last thing was closing stresses, because there's just so many of them, and you gotta calm people down, and it's hard. There's just some crazy stuff. I've talked to a lot of home builders lately, and they're just puzzled. Two of them told me, I talked to M-Line Homes yesterday. They said, we set quotas of 5 sales per neighborhood, and once we reach our quota, we don't sell anymore for that month, because we don't have enough too many in the ground, because we don't know what prices are going to be in the future, but we want to keep the wheels moving. They're hitting their quotas in 2 or 3 days. So their salespeople are pissed because they want to make sales, because that's where their commissions come from, but the builder's holding them back, saying no more sales this month. Right? So there's been a lot of new home salespeople getting out of new home sales because they're being governed.
Yeah. No, that's correct.
It's crazy stuff.
We won't get you on the grammar police.
Sarah said Extensix told her the same thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, the company will order the surveys if you ask them to. And generally they've got a direct line to them, so it's easier for them to get it done than you. Just think about it. If I'm a surveyor and I get 100 orders a month from Paramount Title and I get 1 a month from you, when Paramount calls for a rush versus you, who's going to get it? Sorry,
Target,
it's just the way it works.
And Target gives Century 21 discounts as the preferred surveyor company.
Yep.
Now, their fees just went up a little bit, but everybody's has in the area. Unfortunately, everything's gone up: lumber, nails, everything.
Yep. That is true. That is true. Okay, guys, we're going to run. Lennar has very deep wait lists before they even break ground. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right, guys, happy Friday. Thank you very much. Be safe. We're here for you. Call if you need anything. Stay safe. Stay warm. Enjoy the sun.